Perfect. Hi guys, it's me, Sally. All right, so I'm here. I'm just decorating some cakes. I thought it'd just be a nice frosting video where I show you how I frost and fill my cakes. This one I have here is actually a honey cake with an apricot buttercream and a lemon curd. It's one of my most popular it's called springtime, but it's like one of my most popular like spring summer wedding cakes. So flavor. I'm doing this for a baby shower cake. This one's actually a gluten-free cake, and I'm going to ice it and decorate it, and I hope you enjoy this video while I just do some nice simple cake decorating. All right, so I always have containers where I portion out my buttercream so I know how much I use. This one's already got wash on it. I wash it with a lemon juice, like fresh straight up lemon juice, just to make it really, really tarty, which is really nice. And then usually 2 or 3 scoops, and you can use an ice cream scooper to kind of give you a better judgment on how much you're actually using. And you may hear Emmett in the background too. Emmett's here. He just finished school yesterday. And my puppy. He is super loud. All right, 3 scoops. Where is my other? Oh, here it is. Okay. So I always level this out. Sometimes I may just get a little bit more. Just think of it like a nice ASMR cake decorating video, even though my husband says I'm not really on fancy mic. All right. All right, then I've torted these. We're gonna take this tier and drop that right on here. And don't worry, I will clean off some of the crumbs. Ugh, I'm not actually into massive crumbling, but gluten-free cake is super crumbly. And the only thing holding it together is really the xanthan gum component in the gluten-free cakes. But I do a brown rice flour cake. It's great. Tastes the closest, I think, to real, actual yummy cake. So, all right. All right. Do another layer of cake wash on this tier, just to make the cake extra moist, because gluten-free cake I feel like can be a little dry. All right, now we're gonna ice. I already stacked the other 3 tiers. This middle one with the piping has the lemon curd, so definitely. All right, and this tier icing cakes live so you can watch. And this is my buttercream. I have them all portioned in containers, so I know how much I use. Here we go. This cake is actually going to get some blue later, and I'll show you how I do like kind of the ombre effect on icing cakes. All right, smooth that out, and then just work up the edges. So you could use a piping bag, or you could just apply on the sides. I tend to do this thing where I apply on the side like this with a spoon, and then I continue on. And this one kind of fell over, but that's okay. You can choose to do a crumb coat or not a crumb coat. Which means you get crumbs in it and then you do another icing. I usually tend to do my coat pretty well that I don't need to do another coat on top of the crumb coat, because I'm like, why spend your time crumb coating and then putting another layer of icing over it if you don't need to? If you do it correct and you don't get crumbs in your cake, you don't have to actually do another crumb coat. So so as you can see, I'm slowly just working my way up there. You probably can't see from this angle that well, but that's okay. Let's pop this here. Have a crumb here. Okay, so I'm going to show you how it looks on this side. What I'm doing, I just continue pushing it over so that it's not pulling any crumbs into the cake. And if you happen to pull any crumbs into the cake, you just put more icing over it. And you can always pick like 1 or 2 crumbs out with a toothpick, and it's totally doable. Like that. You just don't want the icing to fall, or it'll just pull a bunch of crumbs off. All right. So I tend to just finish this up. And then will you? Okay. I am almost done with the cake. And then I will use my spatula and smooth it over. And I feel like for most cake decorators, that's like the most satisfying part, is getting your spatula going on the cake. And usually I feel like when I'm icing cakes, it's just go time. Go, go, go time. Alright, I have most of the cake decorated in buttercream now. Hooray. Hooray. Alright, I'm just smoothing out a little bit of it so that it's good. Alright. Let me go get my spatula, which I really forgot, over here. So I usually have a small spatula I use for the top, which helps me flatten out the very top part of the cake, which I like for better control. It makes your cake level, I should say. Alright, so I've got this making the cake pretty level. Okay. And then, because the sides are always higher, like higher than the 5 inches that this is, I tend to use this really, really long 7-8 inch scraper, which is one of my favorites, and I just sit it here, and I will kind of do it here so you can kind of see it, and you just smooth it out like so. And any extra you scrape off into your container, which is my handy container off to the side right here. And you can fill in any gaps you might have. And I am actually going to color a little bit of mine and give it like a blue ombre effect, a dusty blue effect, because this is a baby shower cake and it's for a boy. So we do have some open gap spots here. Hello, I'm just icing cakes. Welcome to my channel. If you are popping in, I don't expect anyone to watch these, but if you're looking for something relaxing and you want to watch me ice cakes, you're welcome here. All right, here we go. Now another smoothing. Oh. looking good. I'm going to apply the blue soon at some point. Sorry, I have some little not smooth spots like right here, so I'm adding some there. Alright, so you guys are just watching me ice cakes. Alright. Normally I do this on my Instagram, but YouTube is apparently the platform to do this on. So I'm going to be icing more cakes on YouTube live when I get a chance. Alright. Sorry, I'm just evening out some areas. Okay. Alright, I think I'm pretty happy with this. I'm going to now color some of my buttercream blue. And straightening out my top edge. You want to bring that edge around, and that gives you that sharp look that you want on the cake edge. This one I am doing a sharp edge, but I think lately the torn edge has been really popular. I call it a torn edge because the top is kind of like on the corners where it like ripples up. But it's very in, so all right. And that's how you frost a cake. I'm going to actually color some of my buttercream blue so that I get a nice ombre effect on this. And I actually, if I'm doing ombre, I don't color that much blue frosting or frost the cake in blue. I actually make a little amount and I put it on the edges and then I put it on. So So I'm going to take some of this buttercream and I'm going to color it blue. I don't even need a lot of it, you just need a little bit. And a little bit, surprisingly, goes a long way. So I've got like about a quarter cup of icing in here. I'm going to take that and put it into a bowl. I'm just going to do some dusty blue in there. Alright. And I'm going to use this spoon and have that. Alright. I'm going to take some of my buttercream. And I've got regular royal blue and I've got dusty blue right here. Looks like this. And I'm just going to put a little teeny bit into my buttercream. Don't mind me, I'm just sweeping up crumbs. Sweep up crumbs if I can. Alright, let's see. Come on. Oh, there we go. Alright, so I squeezed some blue in there, and you're going to start to see that dusty blue like right here. And a lot of times when I do it, I feel like it's too dark, then I'll lighten it with some regular blue. Because this is very dark actually, but that's the right color palette. Then I will take some regular royal blue and add it in there, or even sky blue. Actually, I think it needs sky blue. Where's my sky blue? So I've got sky blue right here. If you can see it, sky blue. Okay. And I'm going to just put some in here. Mix it up. So you can see me blending. There we go. And the reason I'm using this bowl versus a stainless steel is sometimes I need to soften my buttercream, and this is microwavable, but the stainless steel bowls are not. So I just have to use like, alright, so I've got kind of a nice dusty blue right here. Alright, and you'll see it once I put it on the cake. But see how I don't need very much because it's going to blend with this white when I put it on. So what I do at this point is I take a little bit of this dusty blue. Ooh, look at that nice dusty blue color. It's looking great. And it'll actually lighten a little bit when you apply it. So I will apply it to like the side of the cake at the base to kind of give it the ombre effect going up. Again, like I said, a little bit of this is going to go a long way because it's just going to go up your cake. So I may bring you down just a teeny bit. You can see better. There we go. Okay. So I just apply it. A little bit's going to go a long way. You don't even need to put it all the way around the cake. When you ombre effect, you just put it at the base so that the ombre like lightens as it goes up. Okay. And you can even do some at the top if you please, if you wish. I'm going to just do it at the base for now. So remember, I'm not even applying that much. I'm only applying it to the very bottom half of the cake because it's going to give my cake an ombre effect. Okay. All right. So I have some all applied around the base of the cake, as you can see, right? And then you're just going to take your spatula and you're just going to pull it around the same way. And it's going to kind of give you that blue ombre effect. And see how it comes off on your spatula? It's kind of got that nice ombreing effect. It's very easy to achieve. And if you want it to go up a little higher, you can just apply a little bit more blue as it goes up. You can even have it go up more. I'm actually doing a 2-tiered cake, so the ombre effect can go up probably a little higher. Yep, and I love it because see how it's right here? This actually looks really good, this ombreing effect. Okay. Oops. Okay. All right. Perfect. Perfect. I'm sorry. I accidentally dropped some icing on my shoe. Oh, okay. That's right there. Alright, that was just so I can get the icing off my fingertips a little bit. Okay. Now back to smoothing out the ombre. There we go. And pretty much voila. All right, and that looks great. And if you feel like you put the blue too high, you can re-add some white to the top so that you can cover up the blue. If you think you went too high on the blue, you can just do this. Here you go. And it'll bring some more white back into the blue. And sometimes I feel like I did not get that well, as I should have. But yeah, here. And right here, I have a crumb, which I don't like. So I'll do this. All right, who's loving the dusty blue? That looks much better. And that is pretty much how you ombre your cake. So now see if your top is like coming up higher than you like. You can just scrape that down by running your spatula over it. So sometimes I get the icing that comes up and I'll have to re-smooth it back down, which is fine. And there we go. And sometimes I may just want a little bit of blue in it to like lighten it up. I would probably just do this. I'm trying to create a cloud effect. The great thing is this cake is for a style shoot, so I can do whatever I like with it. I get creative liberty. Alright. And I think I'm very happy with that. I think it looks great. Let me just run again. Alright. I love the ombre effect that comes off on the spatula. It just looks really, really, really cool. Alright. So I am all done with this ombre cake. And now we pop it in the fridge so that it firms up. Let me know what you think of it. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys all enjoyed this cake icing video. And I'm going to pop this in the fridge and I will show you pictures of the cake when I have it done by tomorrow. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Bye for now. You guys have a great weekend.